What is going on, Pokemon fans? Welcome back to JD's Nerdverse. We are doing a prediction video today for a what-if scenario. So last week I played through Generation 1, a three-way battle between all the mono ground types in Generation 1. That would be Marowak, Dugtrio, and Sandslash. And without giving you too many spoilers, Marowak didn't do so hot. He actually finished in last place by a significant margin. So what I decided to do was, I've been doing a couple what-if scenarios anyway with Pokemon in Generation 2. I did one with Krabby in Generation 1 with Dig. So I thought, what if we move Marowak from a different generation with a better moveset back into Gen 1? Does it make it more competitive? Does it make it feasible to actually be able to compete with the other two mono ground types in Gen 1? So let's go and look at the stats and see what we're working with here. So the stats, I'm not going to modify. The stats are the same. So in Generation 1, you don't have special attack or special defense. You just have special. So that won't change. I'm not modifying the game or anything to have both those things differentiated. They're the same. 60 HP, 80 attack, 110 defense, 50 special, and 45 speed. Okay, so we're not modifying any of those things. We will have, as usual, we'll give our Pokemon perfect IVs, just like it was in the three-way battle. So that'll be a thing in this scenario, but that's nothing different than what I've done before. So that part does not change about this Pokemon. Here's what changes. So in Generation 1, you have a level up moveset. Ignore what's in yellow, because in yellow they modified this Pokemon to make it a little bit better. But I'm not going to play through his yellow and move that back. I'm playing through his Generation 2 Crystal and moving the Pokemon back. So the moveset in Generation 1, you start off with Bone Club, okay, level 1, which we start level 5, but it's, comes with the Pokemon. Ground type move, 65 base power. It's 98 with stab, and then accuracy on that is 85, and then 20 power points. So, honestly, not a bad move. Growl, Leer, and Focus Energy are the other three moves we start the game with. Now, in the Let's Play, I did the three-way battle. I eliminated Focus Energy. It does not even do what it advertises. It's a glitch in the game, so I removed that because it makes it a little bit fairer for Marowak, because we have to deplete all of our power points to fight our rival. In my playthroughs, we have to fight the second rival battle. And when I say second rival battle, I don't mean the one on Nugget Bridge. I mean the one going towards Victory Road early. As you're kind of like exploring, you randomly come across that. It's mandatory in my playthroughs. So we had to deplete all of our power points to do that. Now, it wasn't the worst thing ever. It didn't take a super long amount of time, but it still is a disadvantage when it comes to it facing off against like Dugtrio, who didn't have to do that. He didn't have to deplete power points because it came with Scratch, which is a move that made it eligible to attack Pidgey without having to deplete power points. So that's our starting moveset, and we're going to modify that. Still going to get rid of Focus Energy, and the rest of the level up moves we're not going to mess with. Focus Energy, Thrash, Boomerang, Rage, we're not going to mess with those at all. Those will still stay the same. But here's what we're going to modify and change. What we're going to do is we're going to change. In Generation 2, Marowak starts off with not only Bone Club, but he also starts off with Headbutt. They've completely eliminated Focus Energy as a starting move. You get it later in the game. So Headbutt gives this thing a huge advantage. We have a good physical attack stat. Headbutt is 70 base power, 100% accurate. It's only 15 power points, but it's pretty powerful. And what it does for us is it makes it so we don't have to deplete power points to go back and fight our rival. We can just do it kind of in the throes of the game and save ourselves a lot of time. Also, on Route 3, we had to go back and heal. I don't think we're going to have to do that. I think Headbutt gives us enough power points between that and Bone Club that we can get through that area without having to run back and heal. And we don't have to fight more battles than we absolutely have to. It will be called minimum battles. In a large portion of the game, we won't have to fight as many battles as we did before having this extra move. So there's one more caveat I kind of want to add in here, but first I will go over the... by the way, okay, I gotta go down here real quick. False Swipe and Bone Rush are moves that are not available in Generation 1, so I will not be using them. So that's not what I want to work with here. False Swipe wouldn't be used in Bone Rush. It doesn't look like a very powerful move. Maybe there's some extra side effects. Maybe it's like ups your attack stat or something. I don't know. But those two moves, I really don't think I'm going to use anyway with the things that I haven't included with this Pokemon. What I'm also going to do is not use any TMs that are available in Generation 2. You technically could use a couple of these in Generation 1, but that would, I think it'd just be overkill. So the moveset on the left is Gen 1, and that's what we're going to stick with. It has good diversity in this moveset. You have Mega Punch, you have Bubble Beam, Water Gun, Ice Beam, Blizzard. You have the fighting moves like Seismic Toss, Hyper Beam, You have Earthquake, Dig, Fire Blast. All those moves are available, and we're going to use all those, potentially all those moves. But here's the thing: in Generation 2, you have a different move set. You have a couple things. I actually am pretty excited to play this Pokemon in Generation 2 whenever I get the chance, but I'm not backporting its TM moveset. So for example, this would be a little bit of overkill if I was able to use Thunder Punch and add it to this Pokemon. It'd be overkill, because one of the biggest disadvantages for Marowak is the fact that Gyarados will one-shot it every time pretty much with Hydro Pump. It's a huge disadvantage, and we don't have an electric move. This would counter that very easily, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not using any of the TMs. I'm showing the TMs just so you know what they are, but I'm not using any of those TMs. I'm not backporting TMs or moves that become TMs in Generation 2. Thunder Punch is only a level up move in Gen 1, but in Gen 2 it becomes a TM you can purchase pretty early. So we're not going to do that. But what we are going to do is one more thing. So in Generation 2, they introduced a mechanic called breeding with Pokemon, and what that is you go to pretty much go to the daycare, and you have 2 Pokemon there, and after some time they procreate and make an egg, and you have a Pokemon. Whether in the byproduct of that Pokemon, some Pokemon you can only get that way, so on and so forth. So that's not the real important part. But what's important is if you use a Pokemon that has a certain move, like these are a handful of moves here, the egg that you create, the Pokemon that is a result of that breeding, comes with that move at the start. It's called an egg move. It comes with it right as it's hatched out of the egg, and right as it's like level 1. Okay, so there's a handful of moves. I'll go over the ones we can't use. Hidden Power would be great to use, but there's no Hidden Power in Generation 1. Hidden Power, 60 base power, 100% accurate. Wouldn't be Stab, but you can get the Omni Boost, which boosts all your stats. That would be a pretty cool one to have, but it's not available in Gen 1, and I don't know how to code and create the move, so not gonna. Belly Drum is one we're not going to use either. I don't even think it's available in Generation 1. Parasong might be available in Gen 1, but it's not useful. So I'll skip over Rock Slide, because I'll talk about that in a little bit. Screech and Skull Bash are 2 moves that I can't stand. Skull Bash, I hate it. I think it's the worst move, one of the worst moves in the game. And Screech, we don't really need it. We have Leer if we really want to lower the opposition's defense. However, 2 moves that we have available that I had to kind of go back and forth on was Rock Slide and Swords Dance. Rock Slide is a 75 base power, 9% accurate move, and this actually could negate the problem we have with Gyarados, because it's rock move, it's super effective, it's 2 times effective, and it can knock him out in one shot potentially. This is the one Pokemon in the 3-way battle that I had that did not have access to Rock Slide, so we had to get creative with Body Slam and Blizzard and so on and so forth. But I don't think that's going to be the best route to go. I think the next one is the best route to go. So Swords Dance is a move you can get, and Swords Dance is a stat modifying move. So boost your attack stat by 2 stages. Okay, and you can do it 3 times. So this is a huge move and huge advantage for Marowak if we code it in and use it instead. And what it also does in Generation 1, there's a thing called the Badge Boost. I'm sure you've seen this before. What it does is every time you modify a stat, like if someone uses Leer, technically it does this. Every time you modify a stat, all the other stats get a boost in 12.5%. In Gen 1, every time you beat every other gym, every odd number gym, you get a boost in a stat. Brock gives you a boost in attack. What's his name? Lieutenant Surge gives you a boost in defense. Not Sabrina. Koga gives you a boost in speed, and Special gets boosted when you beat Blaine. So when you do once you have those gyms beaten, when you do Swords Dance, whenever you modify your attack stat or any stat you modify, the other stats get boosted by 12.5%. So Swords Dance is a huge advantage of that, because all the things that are Marowak's weaknesses pretty much are negated whenever you're able to modify your stats by 12.5%. So for example, bad special, bad speed. We do Swords Dance 3 times. All of a sudden our speed and special don't look too horrible. Okay? And it makes it so we can pretty much clean sweep whatever we come across in the game. So our moveset, let me go back to our moveset real quick. Our moveset for this game will be, instead of having Growl, I'm going to delete Growl, and I'm going to put in Swords Dance. Swords Dance, Tail Whip, Bone Club, Headbutt. That's our starting moveset. Now I know that seems a little overpowered, but it's not a TM from Generation 2. It is a egg move. So the scenario is that we went into Pokemon Crystal on the Game Boy, or whatever you want to call it, and we did all the things that make it so a Pokemon is bred. It comes with Swords Dance, And then because it's a Generation 2 Pokemon, it also comes with Tail Whip, Bone Club, and Headbutt. That is a scenario, and we're bringing that back to Gen 1 to see how effective it's going to be. Okay, so that's what we're doing. That's what I plan on doing, and that's what the playthrough is going to be. So let's go and give a prediction for this. So, a little bit of spoilers here if you haven't seen it, but if you go back and watch my Versus series, Sandslash got the game done in just under an hour. Dugtrio was about an hour and 4 minutes, and Marowak was 11 minutes slower, about an hour and 15 minutes, just under an hour and 16 minutes. So what the goal here is, the goal is, I think we'll pass Dugtrio. I think we'll catch up to Dugtrio. But I don't think we'll catch Sandslash. I think we'll be somewhere in the middle. We'll be like an hour and 1 minute or something, hour and 2 minutes, just past Dugtrio, but not quite to Sandslash. But like I said, this does eliminate a lot of big things we had to do. We had to overlevel to get past certain points because we couldn't modify our stats. We don't have to overlevel as much. We don't have to overlevel at all, to be honest with you. So that's a huge advantage. We also have that early moveset, save some time there. Also save some times on Route 3 because we have Headbutt, so on and so forth. There's a lot of things we're going to be able to do that we weren't able to do before. And we don't have to fight as many battles. We don't have to... The struggle we had before, we were always struggling to get to just fast enough to get by something. I don't think we're going to have to do that with this one. I think we use Swords Dance. It's going to fix all those problems. And it's, like I said, it's a very powerful stat modifying move in Gen 1. Any Pokemon, you give them that any Pokemon in Gen 1, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a much better outcome of your playthrough than you did without it. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below, how long you think this will take. I think it'll take just over an hour. I don't think we're going to catch Sandslash. Sandslash did a pretty good time. It's very powerful. However, I will say this. Marowak in the beginning will have a much better time than Sandslash took forever in the beginning. If Sandslash had anything in the early game that could negate only having Scratch to like level 17, probably would be helpful, but I looked in future generations to see if there was a scenario I could play out, and I can't. So there possibly could be like an egg move, but none of the egg moves I saw were available in Gen 1. So I really can't do that with Sandslash, and I don't know how to modify the game to add moves in. So we're just going to play through this and see what happens. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This is JD's Nerdverse. This video will come out on Friday. Let me know what you think. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys on Friday.